what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I am very excited about today's makeup tutorial. We're gonna be doing a 90s supermodel makeup tutorial. I've got lots of tips and tricks for achieving this look for you guys. So before we get into it, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel just so you can stay updated whenever I upload my next video for you. And if you guys would come follow me on Instagram as well, that would be really dope because I'm always on Instagram whenever I'm not here on my channel. I'm gonna get started off with some skin prep. So I'm gonna use my La Mer moisturizing cream just a little bit. Blend that into my skin. For my primer today, I'm gonna use MAC Prep and Prime. This is the skin base. Moving on to foundation, I'm gonna be using Revlon's Candid, and I think this is perfect for kind of more of like a 90s looking skin because in a lot of the photos I was seeing, they don't have really glowy, dewy, kind of shiny looking skin. It's all about more of a soft, natural matte looking skin. So I'm gonna use this without illuminator. That's why we didn't use a dewy face primer or anything like that. Typically I would love to use like a dewy face primer and an illuminator underneath, but I want this to be true to the trend of complexion that was in the 90s, which was definitely more of that, not super matte, but more of like a soft, natural matte finish. And this foundation is great for giving you that soft matte finish without making you look dry or crepey. To conceal and just brighten up my under eyes, I'm using the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer. This one's a really nice, soft matte finish. Again, just wanna make sure we're not using anything that's too dewy or radiant, but you also don't wanna use a concealer that's gonna make your under eyes look dry and crepey. So this one's great. Nice, fluid, lightweight texture that's just gonna blend in really easy and provide you with a good amount of coverage that you can easily, you can layer this on top of itself and it's never gonna get too cakey or blotchy. And then I just like to blend it in using my fingertips. Keep that product nice and warm. And the heat from your fingers just gives you a little bit more play time so that you can spend a little bit of extra time blending it out. For the 90s eye look, I've been saving a bunch of stuff to a Pinterest board, and I'm kind of just going for this like classic Cindy Crawford look. She doesn't wear that much smoky stuff, but to me this is like very 90s supermodel where it's like smoky from the outer corner to the inner corner, and it's just really hazy and blown out, all matte shadows. So yeah, a lot of mattes, a lot of brown. I like this one. I know you guys might not be able to see the makeup as well on camera as I can on this, but yeah, it's like a lot of like really lashy, heavy lids, and I really like the ones where the lids are lighter and then the crease and the outer corner are really smoked out. So that's the general vibe I'm going for today's look. For the base color on my eyelid, I'm taking Tusk from Natasha Denona Viva palette, and that's gonna be the base color for my eyelid. So I'm just gonna pop this lightly on the eyelid. We're also gonna use it to, set that concealer and foundation. Okay, this is a Laura Mercier finishing ponytail brush, and I'm gonna take that shade called Freckle and lightly work this into the crease. Kind of pull it in on the eye, like right here too. But I'm not gonna take it on the eyelid because I want the crease to be more defined than the eyelid. And I'm also just gonna place a little bit right on the outer corner of the eye. And just kind of blend it upward a bit and pull it back. Just kind of flick it back like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the shade Cocoa on this same brush, and I'm gonna use this to just further define and deepen that crease shade. But also I wanna make sure I'm avoiding the eyelid because I just wanna keep that nice and light. So just blending my way around, lightly adding more definition, doing really slow blending strokes so that I don't screw up my eyelid. I'm taking Rimmel's soft pencil eyeliner in black, and I'm just gonna push and smudge this all along the top lash line, really getting it in there as close as I can. And I'm taking a little smudgy brush from Marc Jacobs to just kind of blend that out and give it a slight wing, but nothing too crazy. Just give it a little bit of shape on that tail end where you smudge it, just until you get something a little bit like this. I'm picking up the shade Spot on an e.l.f. small smudge brush, and I'm using this to set that black liner and just also kind of further intensify it as well. I'm gonna mix the shades Cocoa, Seed, and Spot on a little Smashbox shadow blender brush, and right where this wing meets the crease of my eye, that's where I'm gonna blend this shade. But I really wanna do this slowly so that I can control how much pigment I put down. I'm just kind of nestle it there and then blend it into the crease until it just kind of completely fizzles out into the other shadows. Now I feel like you guys can see it a lot better. So I wanted the color from the tip of this wing to meet back here at this outer corner of the eye and then blend into the crease and just kind of fade into the rest of the brown shades. Even though that is a black back there, I wanted it to muddle with the brown and then blend perfectly into the crease. I'm gonna take this black liner pencil and I'm gonna apply it to my waterline all the way from the outer corner to the inner corner. I'm gonna take Spot again and I'm gonna smudge this from that outer corner right there and then pull it all the way to the inner corner. I'm just gonna fill in my brows really quickly. I'm using the IT Cosmetics brow pencil. So I'm gonna move on to contouring, which I haven't like properly contoured in quite a while. I usually just wear a ton of bronzers, but I noticed that they really have, you know, that chiseled cheekbone, which I want to replicate. So I'm going to contour with the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer. And that's the other thing I wanted to emphasize with you guys. You do wanna be using matte bronzers or matte contour powders. You don't wanna use anything shimmery to chisel. I'm gonna start back here and just kind of lightly contour inward and then make sure I blend it upward so that my contour raises my cheekbone and it doesn't make my cheekbone fall down lower. So just start back here, pull it about mid cheek and blend it upward. To add a little bit of warmth to my skin, I'm gonna use the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 300, which is a really nice golden undertoned bronzer. So I think it just helps add a little bit more life. This bronzer has a little bit more of a golden undertone. So I think it just helps add more life to your skin without being too orange or too red. Blush wise, with all of these 90s supermodel looks, I was noticing a lot of matte neutral toned blushes. So I'm gonna use Toasted Cinnamon from Burt's Bees. Just gonna lightly start swirling this onto the apples of my cheeks. Blend it just to meet my contour and bronzer as well. When it comes to highlight, this part's a little bit more tricky because I'm noticing that overall the complexions are very matte, but you can almost just see the slightest glisten on the tops of cheekbones, but it's not really on, you know, anywhere on the center of the face. So, you know, I love highlighting like my Cupid's bow, tip of my nose, things like that. That's not really a thing I'm seeing a lot of in my inspo pics. But you do see the slightest glisten on the top of the cheekbone. So I'm gonna use a pressed powder highlight. I'm gonna use the luminizing powder from RMS, and I'm gonna use the glow powder brush from Laura Mercier to apply this. And this is really just to emphasize the contour, to really give you that kind of 90s supermodel, like really raised high cheekbone look. But it's not necessarily there to emphasize like a glow in the skin. This is all the smoke and mirrors of contouring and highlighting your cheekbones to give them the illusion of being, you know, higher and more statuesque. To set my brows and really give them that like fluffy 90s brow, I'm gonna use Maybelline Great Lash in Clear and just brush my brows in upward strokes like this, just to set them in a nice, you know, perked up position. Lashes and lips are also really important to this look. You want those really fat, fluffy, flirty lashes. So I'm gonna be using one of the best mascaras. It is the Essence Get Big Lashes mascara. And I'm going to seriously pack this on, layer it on. I'm applying it with a rolling technique like this so that it doesn't clump up as much. But I really want to layer this on thick so that I get that false lash effect. For the bottom lashes, I'm gonna use L'Oreal Telescopic because you want this to be like really lashy and heavy looking on the top. Very, you know, vixen-y. But the bottom lashes aren't supposed to be like too distracting from the top lashes. You just really want that like, oh my god, my eyelashes are so thick and heavy that it kind of gives you that like drooped eyelid look. So you want to keep the lower lashes a little bit softer. So something that's just going to give you a little bit of length and clean volume, but you want the emphasis to be on those top lashes so that you kind of get that like Jessica Rabbit like you know, my eyelashes are so heavy, they're keeping my eyelids closed. I'm gonna line my lips with NYX Nude Truffle, and I promise you this is like the perfect 90s brown. And I'm gonna overline. So just right outside my lip line, that's how I'm gonna overline. They all did this like exaggerated, really pouty, almost cartoon-like overline. And a trick you guys can actually do to make your bottom lip look even more pouty, take a little bit of your bronzer on a blending brush and just contour right under the heaviest part of your bottom lip. So just like right here, just put a little bit. Not too much, you don't want it to look like a soul patch, but you want it to just kind of create that like drooping shadow. 90s lips were a lot of browns, a lot of mauves, a lot of like deep crimson browns with like brick undertones. So I'm gonna mix a couple different ones because I want to do the 90s lip where it's a little bit darker on the edges and then lighter in the center. So I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Bated Breath from MAC, and I'm gonna use this as my outer corner shade. And then right in the centers of my lips, I'm using Rose Cliff from NARS, which is in Nude, just to create that lighter looking pout right in the middle. Gonna go back in with my lip liner and just kind of redefine that edge. To kind of bring this finish on my skin back to more of a skin-like finish, it's not gonna look dewy because that's not the end goal, but you can, if you get up and close to this, you can definitely see like a little bit of powder, and I wanna make it, you know, stay matte but still look like skin. So I'm gonna take some of the Caudalie Beauty Elixir and just a couple sprays right over the makeup. It's not gonna give you anything dewy or shiny. It's just gonna take away that powder that's just kind of setting on top of your skin. All right guys, this is the finished supermodel from the 90s look. Like I said, I was just really inspired by these looks, and I've been wanting to do a tutorial kind of recreating it and staying as true to it as I could, but I didn't want to do like the super harsh lip liner or, you know, anything that's like too matte and chalky looking. I wanted to do more of like a polished modern 90s supermodel look while also still keeping all the elements that I think personally that I feel like make a 90s supermodel look. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you recreate this look, I would love to be tagged in it. I would love to see you guys. I would love that so much. That would make me so excited. I'm gonna list and link all these products in the description box down below. Please let me know some other makeup tutorials you guys would like to see in the near future. I'll add them to my list. Other than that, guys, I would love it if you would subscribe and if you would come follow me on Instagram as well. That would be amazing. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching this one. Bye, guys.